There it is.
Turn around, let me say. Yeah.
I hear you. How's it going, Michael?
Good.
How
Am
is
I
life?
the
Are you the only
Good.
one? Yeah, there's a button where you can look and see who's in the room. And right now, it's me and you, buddy. How's it going?
Good.
So let's take a look-see.
Get your notepad, Michael.
Hang on, I'm getting a phone call. I'm going to mute myself just for a second. Okay. Did you mute yourself? I can see this icon on your screen that you muted yourself, and it's okay you don't have a camera. That's fine. There's also a chat function. Let me see where that is. Yeah, Michael, if you can hear me, there's also a chat function with Zoom. So if you can respond there and just let me know if you can hear me, see me, anything. Cool. So are you on, what are you using? A computer, your Chromebook, a phone? I don't know what else there is. I could hear you a minute ago, but now you're muted. Cool. Okay. So, yeah. So every day I'm going to be logged into this service from 10 to 11. And that'll be time for either one or 96 students to log in and either get live help with questions, lessons, what have you. So right now, let me see how you're doing. We had a big meeting with Ms. Jones yesterday, and we've got a lot of information that's going to get posted tomorrow with regards to, weekly expectations and time you should be spending doing your lessons, stuff like that. But for this week, let me say you did your lessons so far. So why did you mute yourself, or did something happen on accident? Because it was cool that I could actually hear you and didn't have to look back at the text every now and then. I mean, I don't think I muted you. Hang on, Michael, say something now.
Hello.
There you go. Now I can hear you. Maybe I did need you on accident. So, do you want to try and use your webcam, or you just want to leave it on audio, or what? I'm just curious, like how the technology would work from where you're at, how good the feed would be. Like, do you see the option to flip on your camera? You don't have to. I'm just curious how well it works. You're super technical. If you want to figure out what I did, there's like an option for dynamic backgrounds. All you need to do is download a picture. Like I got this AU symbol, and it's not great. Like you can kind of see my window like through my headset, and it's like an option where even though you don't have a green screen, you can. Oh, you lost! I lost you. I lost the Michael. And he's back.
My internet's not working like that.
It's fine. So how are you doing? Is everybody healthy? Everyone okay?
Yes, sir. You?
That's good. Yeah, we're making it. Um, it is kind of spooky how bad things are getting. Okay, so I was about to pull up your lessons. Let's see. Period. Okay, so we definitely need to talk about so calculating the intercepts. So let's work on that. Okay, so now I'm gonna see. Say what?
I didn't say nothing.
Okay, so now I am going to see if I can display my screen and then show you how I would do these. I guess it'd be probably best if you had like paper and pencil or something. Okay. Hang on, I'm making a problem. Okay. Now let's see how this is gonna work because I'm pretty sure I can just display my screen instead of my camera. Let me see. Ooh, I can share a whiteboard. That's interesting. All right, let's try it this way first. I'm gonna share my primary screen and see what happens. All right, so what can you see right now?
I can see negative 5x minus 4y
Okay,
equals
pause there.
10.
So is that the only screen you can see? You're just seeing a big white screen with a problem?
Um,
Or do you see like
I
me
can
as
see,
well?
I can see you as well.
Cool. Like, okay, so
I can see like your whole desktop, like on your computer.
Okay, so you can see both my screens?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's see. Right. Mm-hmm. Feel like I should have something more important up on the second screen. Yep, we're all just you and me, buddy. Thank you so much. You really helped me figure this stuff out ahead of time before we have everybody show up. Because we know they're all going to show up eventually.
Mhm.
All right, so now you can see the problem and you can see Google Classroom posted.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I can see the problem, you, and Google Classroom.
So you're just seeing everything I can see. Gotcha. Okay. So let's talk about this problem. Okay. So basically, do you have paper and pencil or something?
Yes, sir.
Cool. And this is actually very exciting. Okay, so what is an intercept? Do you know?
No, sir.
Okay, so an intercept, that's what we should talk about first. Have you watched my video?
No, sir.
That would have helped. Okay, so I'm going to give you a synopsis. So here's our x and our y axis right here. All right, so here's our y axis, and here's our x axis. I would highly recommend you watch those videos first. They were meant to go before you try the lessons, but it's fine because Colin lets you try over and over. So let's put a line through this system like this. Okay, so there's our line. That, by the way, this line has nothing to do with the equation we're about to solve. I'm just trying to explain what intercepts are. So you will probably notice that this red line connects with the y-axis and it connects with the x-axis in two spots. Here, that was supposed to fill in. There. Here and here. All right. So do you see what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So an intercept is just that coordinate, that x and y value, where our line crosses the x-axis or crosses the y-axis. That's all it is.
So are you saying y
Good.
equals 0 and x equals 0 also?
At a certain point, yeah. Okay, so like for this one, the y-intercept is going to have an x value of 0 and then some y number, and then our x-intercept is going to have an x value and then its y value will always be 0. That's what they're going to be. So that's all it is. An intercept is the location on the y-axis or the x-axis where our line touches them, which means no matter what this coordinate is, it's get like the y. I can't tell if you can see my cursor or not. The y intercept, which is right here. So let me get a different color. Okay, so the y-intercept, which is right here, is going to have a 0 in the x value, always. And then we just got to figure out what the y value is, and then the x-intercept, which is over here, is always going to have a y value of 0 because it'll go x over and then 0 up or down. Hello, Robert. Oh, this is awesome. This is pretty sweet. Robert, you're joining Michael and I as we're talking about intercepts. How's it going? Mr. Matthews said to himself, I don't think you're muted. Nope. Let me see if I can pull up the chat again. Oh, I can.
That goes right there.
I can hear somebody.
Hello.
Hey, Robert, how's it going?
Good.
I'm trying to manage my screens because once I flipped it around from just my camera, Michael's telling me he can see both my desktops. So hang on. All right, so can you guys see my chat window, my cam, your names, and the problem?
Mm-hmm.
And me drinking out of a big red cup. Okay. All right, so I don't know if you watched my video content or not, but I was basically explaining how to find, well, actually what intercepts are. So here's the catch up. This red line is going through our system, and the two places it connects with the axes, being the y-axis and the x-axis, those are our intercepts. And what we're going to do is some fun math to figure out what they are. So Michael's got paper and pencil, so you can just catch up or do it all in your head because you're so brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to use some letters here. All right. So let's go ahead and solve for the y-intercept first. So the first thing I'm going to do is just write out the equations. So negative 5x minus 4y equals 10. Okay, so that's just the raw equation they gave us. Now, Michael, going back to what I said before, and this is really important, the y-intercept is always going to have a value of 0 in its x slot. So what we can do is just put in 0 for x. Go ahead, Robert. What? Robert, what was that?
So will your negative 5 turn into like 0?
Yeah, it will. Yeah. So watch.
So negative 5, 0.
So basically, negative 5 times 0 is, well, 0. So all we're left with, whoops. Whoa, that's not what I wanted. So all we're left with, oh man, I did something weird. I did a weird keystroke and it took me out of my texting. All right, here we go. So all we're left is negative 4y equals 10. So that's where we're at so far. So now what we're going to do, go ahead.
Will we divide 10 by negative 4?
Yep. Yes, we will. Very smart. So here's what it would look like on my scrap work. So I'm going to put a division bar underneath both and put in negative 4s like that.
And the negative 4 will cancel out each other.
Speak the truth. Yep, it will. So all we're left with, now this is where you're going to have to just get over the fact that your answers aren't whole numbers all the time. So we're going to be left with 10 over negative 4. You can simplify that by dividing both by 2. You can get 5 over negative 2. But that's what you would end up having to type in.
That's the same as negative 2/5. Negative 2.5.
Mm-hmm. So that's what we go here. Oh wait, yeah. Undo, select, transparent copy. Pew, pew. Yeah, so I'm not sure which one Con would take or prefer, but that's the math. And it all starts with understanding that the y-intercept or the x-intercept has a 0 value somewhere. Hey Claire, what's up? You want to cuddle? Sorry, I'm teaching my lesson right now. Can you say hi to everybody? Can you say bye to everybody? All right. All right, go. I'll be with you in a little bit. I know, but I'm a teacher today. All right, well, you guys are going to have to put up with a little background noise. Okay. So the second one, it starts out the exact same way. I'm going to write down the equation. So it starts off with negative 5x minus 4y equals 10. Now, this one, though, I'm going to let y be equal to 0. Because that's how all x-intercepts work. They always have a y value of 0. So that allows us to do a little bit of cheating, basically. So it'd be negative 5x minus 4. But instead of a y, we're going to plug in a 0. Which means negative 5x. And I could put minus 0 here in this slot, but I'm just too lazy to do that. So negative 5x equals 10. Oh, that's funny. You named yourself Corona Time? Or is that something you just typed? Oh, he's so clever. I can't seem to unmute you, buddy. And then I can't. User 944971. Hang on. What I do? There it is. Whoever's on the couch, I can't see you, but I should be able to see names. It's the light behind. It's weird like that. It might be Luker. I can't tell though. Ah! Okay, it's Luker. Go back in the dark. I asked your brother at Walmart how you were doing, and his answer was slow. I don't know what that meant. I asked him to clarify, and he just kind of shrugged. Okay, so playing catch up. Obviously, I have to start another one in a minute, but Michael, Robert, and I are learning how to solve for intercepts. And I guess I'll do a better explanation here in a minute. If you haven't watched my videos, please go watch them. They're meant to be watched before you do the lessons. Okay, so at this point, we would end up dividing both sides by negative 5. You okay? What happened? Hang on. Little one bumped her teeth or something. 1 second. That's all right. It's all right. Hey, calm down. Can I see your teeth? Let me see. What's up? Whoa. You want one?
Math.
Listen. Oh, you're not bleeding or anything. You're okay. Take. I'm doing my class right there. You know that? That's pretty neat. I get somewhere I left from work.
That's tough.
That's talking about the experiment. But that is something else. I'm going to go back to work.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see if we can get through a problem without somebody bumping their lip. All right, so we divide both sides by -5. Oh, this one's going to have a much cleaner answer. So what we end up with, anytime you divide by itself, you end up with 1. So that's going to end up being 1x, but I'm too lazy to write that. It's just x equals, and then 10 divided by -5 is -2. So our answer for our x-intercept is going to be at -2, 0. Now this does not match this picture. This picture is just an example of what intercepts are. So, okay, so we're up to Michael, Robert, Philip, not Philip. Okay, so can everyone see the chat as well? If you can't find it, there's a button that lets you open up chat. In case you guys have a question, but didn't want to key your mic or something. Okay, so let me grab another problem, and we'll go from there. Oh, hey, Javion. How's it going? Hang on. For some reason, you guys are all logging in muted. It's not letting me unmute you, Javion. There you go. How's it going, Javion? You good?
Good.
I'm hoping everyone is healthy and everyone's family is doing okay. Okay, so for me to pull up another problem. Okay, ooh, we can actually just plug in the answers. What we just figured they were. Okay, let's see. So our answers were going to be. Oh, it's not letting me plug in the answers because I was looking at the ones that Michael had. Okay, we just go to the next one. Okay. So let's try this. Now, you know what? I'm going to do my tried and true. Take a screenshot. So I'll get rid of this. Paste in a new one. Cut that out. Get rid of everything. Okay. Here we go. All right, start from scratch. By show of hands, I can't see Robert Cameron. Okay, so I guess I can't do show of hands, but if you don't know what an intercept is, here's what they are. Okay, so an intercept in football, that's when you catch the ball when you're not supposed to, if you're on defense. But if you haven't watched my videos, so we have an X and Y axis. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. change that back to the same color. Okay, so we have two axes. We have our y-axis and we have our x-axis. Now, anytime you have a line, well, okay, not anytime, but most of the time when you have some sort of line, it's going to go through both at some point. So here's our green line, and it is heading up and over that way. Okay, so there are two spots where it connects with our axes, and those spots are here. Okay, so what they call that spot right there, that is called the y-intercept, because that's where our line connects to the y-axis. And then there's another spot here, and what they call that is the x-intercept, because that's where it connects to the x-axis. Just label those real quick. This one, and there's this one. So this is called the x-intercept. And this will always have, because it's on the x-axis, because it's on the sideways line, it's always going to have a y value of 0. That's really important for the next thing we're going to do. This one is called the y-intercept because it's right on the y-axis. And that's always going to have an x value of 0 because it didn't go sideways at all from the origin. So it'll be 0 with a y value. Okay? And that is the big thing you have to know to start any of these problems, is that an x-intercept has a y value of 0. I might be saying that too fast, but I think I'm saving this so anyone can go back and rewatch it. Plus, I've done all this exact work on my YouTube video. Okay, so an x-intercept always has a y value of 0. So where it says x-intercept, I'm going to put a 0 in right here. So half that work is done, sort of. And then all y-intercepts have an x value of 0, so I can put in a 0 here. And that is the absolute most important thing to start any of these problems. Okay? Questions about what I've just said? Because if you didn't understand that, we really need to go back over it. So anyone need me to repeat? Does anyone have any other question about anything? Life in general, whatever. Okay. So if you have your own paper, here's how you would solve this one. Okay, so let's start by doing... Okay, so we'll start by doing the y-intercept. So the first thing we're going to do is just write down the equation. That's negative 3x minus 4 equals negative 5y minus, negative 5y minus 8. So that's what we'll always do. We'll always just write down the equation first. Now I do need you guys to tell me, is this font big enough for you to see, or do you guys have to like squint just to see it? Somebody say something. Corona time says he can see find. Oh, he's so funny. Careful, watch this have to go back to school, and then I'm gonna start calling you Corona time forever. Thumbs up, he says. Okay. And Luker is going by the infamous 944971 hashtag. Hey, Courtney. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is unmute Courtney. I don't know what I just did. I rearranged your pictures, but it's all good. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is substitute. Okay. So now because this is y-intercept, that means that x is going to be equal to 0. And that is super duper important because now if we know x is equal to 0, we just do a little substitution. Oh, apparently I hid my picture. Am I on camera still or no? Oh, I get it. I'm literally just scrolling down. Never mind. Okay. There we go. Okay. So if x is equal to 0, that means I'm going to have negative 3 times 0 minus 4 equals negative 5y minus 8. Okay. And this is where we realize that, okay, well, negative 3 times 0 is, well, nothing. So I could write a 0 here, but I'm so lazy I'm not even going to do it. Which means that negative 4 is equal to negative 5y minus 8. All right, so this is where we've got to do some opposite, inverse math stuff. So what's the opposite of subtracting 8? Anybody? Adding how much?
8.
So on your paper, you're going to write adding 8 right underneath that. But whatever I do to one side of the equation, I have to do the other side. You okay? No, I can't. I'm teaching a lesson right now. You can come show me. Go on. Go on. Go close the door. I need about another 10, 15 minutes. Okay, so once we add 8 to both sides, negative 4 plus 8 is positive 4. The negative 5y is still there. Now, negative 8 plus 8, that's an abstract rule. They just add up to be 0 because they're opposites. So I could say plus 0, but I am too lazy. So I'm going to leave it like that. All right, what's the last step? Anybody? If what's happening right here, this negative 5 being stuck to the y, what operation is that? Multiplying. The opposite of that is you have to divide by negative 5. And then if you do it on one side, you got to do it to the other side. So you're going to have 4 over negative 5 on the right side. I mean, the left side. And then whenever you divide something by itself, that's equal to 1. So we could say 1y, but what's the point? Anything multiplied by 1 is just itself. So here's what your answer is. It's not pretty, but that's what it is. So 4 over negative 5 would be the y value when x is equal to 0. And now we're just going to rinse repeat that process to find the x-axis. I mean, the x-intercept. So when we're solving for the x-intercept, we're going to write down the equation. That's negative 3x minus 4 equals negative 5y minus 8. And because we're finding the x-intercept, we know that y has to be equal to 0. And that is the key thing you have got to know. And if you know that, that unlocks the entire problem. So if y is equal to 0, then negative 3x minus 4 equals negative 5 times 0. Which means that anything times 0 is nothing. So I could put a 0 here, but I'm lazy. I don't feel like it. So negative 3x minus 4 is equal to negative 8. And this is where our inverse operations come in. So the opposite of subtracting 4 is adding 4. So we'll do that to both sides. And if this writing is too small for you guys to read, you got to tell me because I will never know. I left the 8 out. Did I fix it? Oh, I get it. Pardon me for a minute.
One marshmallow.
Bruh. I'm just doing this shit. Austin. What's up?
Yeah, let me go back. Okay, so we're talking about that. Yeah, I might have totally messed up. Let me see. Oh, right. Okay. No, I didn't. -4 plus 8 is +4. So -4 plus 8 is +4. I just didn't put the plus symbol because reasons. So 4, no, that should be okay. Yeah, -4 plus 8 equals 4. Yeah, okay, so we're good. All right. So okay. -3x minus 4. I'm catching up my brain. Okay, so then here's where we would be. All right, so we'd have -3x. Now I could say +0, but I am too lazy to do that. So -8 plus 4 is -4. Yeah, because we're at -8 and we come up 4, we're still negative. All right, so now last step. So if we just divide both sides by -3, that'll cancel out and leave x by itself. It's the crack of 11 a.m. It's too early. Okay, so -3 divided by -3 is 1. So I could say 1x, but I'm too lazy to do that. I'm just going to say x equals. Now, negative divided by negative, I would probably leave it. I mean, that's just going to be 4/3. That's just an abstract rule. So, no, it's only one. Okay, so -4 divided by -3, like that's our answer. But if you were to multiply both top and bottom by a -1, okay, so since we're multiplying by the same thing on top and bottom, it's an equivalent fraction. That would be +4 over +3. And if we can write numbers as positives, we just do. I mean, it's just easy. It's just less confusing. So I would say that this is going to be our x value. So 4/3. So for almost all of these, your answers are going to be fractions, and you just need to accept that. Don't panic thinking you did something wrong. So yeah, so the answer to this one would be 0. The y-intercept is at 0, 4 over -5, and then the x-intercept is at 4/3, 0. Yeah, so that's how these work. And then I can pull up another one. Hang on. That's not what I wanted. Here we go. All right, so let's look at the next one. Okay, and I think, yeah, we got time for one more. Okay, so I'll screenshot this one. Go to my problem, select everything, get rid of it, bring in the new problem, cut that out, get rid of everything. All right, here we go. Okay, so for anybody else that missed the basic explanation as to what these things are, okay, so intercepts. And if you have not watched my video content, you really should. Okay, so here's what intercepts are. when you have an X and Y axis, and I don't change their colors randomly. Okay, so we have a y-axis and we have an x-axis. And we're going to have some line that's just going to come through the system like so. Okay, so there are 2 intercepts on almost every line. Now, if a line is parallel or vertical, it will only have 1, but most lines will have 2 intercepts. Those are these places. So right here. So here's an intercept, this green dot here, and here's an intercept, this green dot here. So what these things are, these are the spots that our blue line touches the y-axis and the x-axis. So what we call them, this one is called the y-intercept because it is touching the y-axis. And you'll notice that no matter where it is on that y-axis, it's going to have an x value of 0. And then this one is called the x-intercept because it's on the x-axis. And because it's on the x-axis, it'll always have a y value of 0. And that is the most important thing to understand, is that we are guaranteed to have an x value of 0 or a y value of 0, depending on the intercept we're talking about, because that's how we start the math. So, I scheduled this meeting for an hour. I'm not sure if it automatically cuts us off at 11, so I guess we're going to find out when I hit that barrier. Anyway, so let's do this one first. Okay, so the first thing we need to understand, when we're solving for the x-intercept, that's going to have a y value of 0. And if you don't know that, you cannot start the problem. That is absolutely paramount. You understand that x-intercepts always have a y value of 0. So we'll write down the equation, negative 4x plus 7y equals 3. But then we can just substitute in the 0 for the y value. So that'd be negative 4x plus 7 times 0 equals 3. Which means that negative 4x, and I could say plus 0 because 7 times 0 is 0, but I'm so lazy, I'm not even going to bother, equals 3. So now we're going to do some inverse math. So we're just going to divide this side by negative 4 because anything divided by itself is equal to 1. And just to keep things nice and balanced, I'm going to do that on both sides. So negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1, so that'd be 1x, but anything times 1 is just itself, so that'd be x equals, and this would be 3 over negative 4. And I guess there is one thing Khan might do, because this could be written a few different ways. You could write this as, and that is going to be the answer. So let me just go and plug that in real quick. Okay, but if Khan is giving you drama over this, 3 over negative 4 can be written a few different ways. It can be written as negative 3 next to, the negative symbol can be just next to the whole thing, or you can put the negative symbol on the top. They're all equivalent to each other. And the reason the negative symbol can go anywhere is because, like, okay, let's say you started with negative Let me read that. Let's say you started with the original. So let's say we have 3 over -4. Well, if you were just to multiply the top and bottom by -1, 3 times -1 would be -3. And 4 times -4 times -1 would be +4. That's why they're all the same. So I'm not really sure if Khan is picky when you type them in, but it should take any of those. Okay. So now let's try the y-intercept. Now, when you're doing a y-intercept, we're lucky we know the x value is always equal to 0, and that's how the problem starts. So for the y-intercept, x equals 0, which means when I have my equation -4x plus 7y equals 3, that means that -4 is getting multiplied by the 0. And -4 times 0 is nothing, so I can either write a 0 or just skip it and just say 7y equals 3. And that math repeated reasoning should be kicking in now because like we've done this so many times. So okay, so I'm gonna divide both sides by 7. Anything divided by itself is 1, so I could either write 1y or just write y equals 3/7. And your brain might be saying, oh no, it's a fraction, I must be wrong. Nope. So there it is. Ta-da. And that is how you calculate intercepts for this week's lesson. So for those of you that just joined in, or I guess joined in after maybe Michael, tomorrow is going to be a big day because all the other 8th grade teachers and I are going to be posting a lot of stuff on Classroom with regards to what's going to be expected for the rest of the year. Stuff like how many times a week we're going to contact you, how often you should expect assignments, how many assignments per week, how many hours you should be putting into your schoolwork per day, things like that. And yeah, so the last few minutes here, I mean, what's the good, bad, and the ugly about using Zoom? It seems like it was pretty easy. I think thanks for logging in at the last minute. I know it was sort of a surprise, but it'll be every day from 10 to 11 that I'll be on here just for me, myself, and whoever decides to show up. So let's talk about the technology. What can I do to make it better? Lighting, audio, less 5-year-olds demanding marshmallows. What can I do to make this better? Stop lying. What? What did I lie about? Oh. Why aren't you moving? Oh, where to? You can't. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Don't tell the internet strangers where you're moving. That's probably good policy. Okay. Well, that concludes our first Zoom class time. Thank you. Or unless he thinks that you're funny and saying you're going to move to Alaska. I don't know who the you and your is. Okay, so I'm gonna let this timer time out and let's see if it just automatically closes the meeting. Oh, pins and needles. Okay, so let's see what happens when I click this button. Okay, so what can you guys see now? Can you still see both screens or just me?
Just you.
Okay. Don't need to save that. He said to himself. Okay. So right now, because I'm trying to figure out how this sharing works. So right now, you can see chat, you can see me, but you can no longer see the problem I was working. Is that right?
We can't see the problem.
You what?
We can't see the problem.
Gotcha. Okay. Luker looks miserable. You all right? You sick? We can't catch the virus through here. It's all right. You can tell us. Yeah. And if you guys weren't on to hear this, I got the funniest response of his brother at Walmart the other day. I was asking him if I could find something, and he told me I'll go look at. And I said, "So how's the younger Luker?" And he went, "Slow." And I didn't know what that meant. And I asked him to clarify, and he just shrugged his shoulders like, "Oh, there's Courtney's camera. How's it going?"
Good.
Oh, Jada, whatever you did to fix the light, now we can actually see your face. Before it was just this shadow, and I can see you're like talking to someone else, maybe. Ooh, here's a question. You guys can mute yourselves, but I think I have the power to mute you, which is kind of awesome. Like if Courtney wanted to talk, I could just click this button, and now she can't talk. Here, so I want to test something. Courtney, can you mute your mic real quick?
Yeah.
Here, just click the button to mute your mic. Okay. I'm trying to see. Ooh, I can forcibly unmute you, apparently.
No, you press unmute and then it asks me if it's okay if you unmute me.
Ah, okay, good to know. I was wondering, like, you might mute it so you could, like, say something private to your family, and then I unmute you and everybody hears you, but at least I don't have that power. Okay. Okay, well, it's definitely 11:02, and it has not canceled the meeting, so I guess that's good. You guys have a whole lot of other options. Oh, here, do me a favor. I think it's in the chat option. There's like a raise your hand. Where is that?
Beside mute me.
Here, someone I want to. Oh, there's the raise hand. Cool. And then I can, I can forcibly lower your hand. That's funny. Okay, there's that. I don't think as the host I have the ability to raise my own hand. So that's something you guys will have to find for your sales. Okay, well that was. Can I rename people? Oh, I can. Well, that's cool. Aha. Okay. Well, I'm done with my lesson. Right now, we're just hanging out. How's everything going for y'all? Everybody got enough food?
Good.
I think the school has a standard time to pick up meals if you guys wanted to go by and just get a bite. I don't remember what those times are, what days those are, but I'm sure it's on the website somewhere. Dun, 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 dun.
Miss Jones says the time in the video Coach Logan posted.
Cool. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. So what are you guys doing to keep yourselves sane while you're stuck at home or whatever? Will's been playing a lot of 2K, a lot of Fortnite.
I play them games. I play 2K and Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I read them.
He gets more wins as a duo with his buddy from school. They get pretty excited when they actually pull off a win.
Yeah.
I'm learning all sorts of new terms like try hard, sweaty.
Stop this game.
Apparently, when people are better than you, you make up words to make fun of them for being better than you at games. Now they're the loser. Mm-hmm.
Thank God someone else can understand that.
What that when people are better than you that they're just a tryout or a sweaty.
No, it's just when I'm better than someone else, they just start saying stuff and being like, "Oh, you won't do that stuff in real life, would you?"
Oh, Yeah.
I was like, haha, it's just a game.
Is it?
Yes, it's a competition game where people would get mad at for no reason because they're losing.
It's just a weird psychological thing we do. Oh, did I close? I closed the tab, but I don't know what I closed. But it wasn't the meeting. Yeah, Joseph. It's this weird psychological thing you do. So like, you don't want to admit you're bad at something, so you find a way to make it sound like they're the problem. So the way Will was saying it, he was in one of those what do they call it, creative games, where it's like somebody made the map and you just do whatever, that sort of thing. And somebody was just killing as many people as possible in the game, and Will got upset. Like why is he trying so hard? This is like a casual game mode. And I didn't know how to respond. It's like, okay, the point of the game is to defeat the other players, so I don't see how you get mad at people for doing that repeatedly. I don't know.
Cold. Oh my God.
All right. Well, I'm gonna see what happens. I'm apparently saving this file, and I guess I'll post it for anyone that just couldn't be there for the live version, and we will learn going forward. So check back in on weekdays from 10 to 11. I feel like I'm suddenly on TV. But all the other 8th grade teachers should also be available during this time. So if you don't want to spend the time hanging out in here with me, you can spend the time hanging out with them or contacting them, and they should be on call. Well, I mean, we should be on call every day till 3, but for like real-time responses, we're all expected to be at our stations basically from 10 to 11 every day. This is how I'm going to do mine. So you can come in and out as you please, and then I'm going to save the videos. And this, I guess we'll see how that works right now. So well, anyway, it's supposed to save. We'll see if I did it right. Because I'm looking at my Zoom webpage and I see the button like start the meeting and like, wait, what do you mean start? No, and I refresh the page. There we go. Okay, so I guess whenever I end the meeting, it's supposed to save the video file, and we'll see how easy it is for me to put it on YouTube and just label it as 4-2 lesson. All right, guys, good to see you. If you have any questions, email me. If you had a problem on Khan that you need more help with, send me a screenshot, and I'll work it out for you.
Thank you.
Bye.